Hello, son. This could be a difficult month. Maybe you woke up tired, without energy, carrying a weight that seems impossible to bear. Things didn't turn out as you expected. The heart is tight and the mind is full of doubts. But this is not the end. Difficult days come, but they cannot define your story. What you are going through is not your final destination. There is hope, there is a way out. And today, God wants to speak directly to your heart. So, stay with me until the end of this message, because what you're about to hear could change everything. Now, I want to ask you something very special. In the comments, write your name and your prayer request, so we can pray for you and intercede for your life. And before continuing, click on the bell at the bottom of the screen. This will ensure that you always receive messages of faith and hope. Now, let's discover together how to overcome difficult days. Difficult days come without warning, and when you least expect it, the heart is filled with uncertainty. Unexpected situations appear. Obstacles seem to grow before your eyes, and suddenly, faith begins to weaken. Sneaky discouragement settles in the mind, and it makes everything seem bigger than it really is. What once seemed bearable, now it seems unbearable. The small problems become giants, and the feeling of helplessness becomes more and more real. Have you ever felt this way? As if you were walking in circles, unable to move, as if life's difficulties were a giant wave and you were drowning without the strength to swim. The hardest thing about these moments is not just the weight of the situation, but the feeling that no one understands what you are going through. The mind fills with questions. Is God seeing all this? Does He care? How long will I bear this pain? It's as if God's silence increased the weight of the bad day even more. You pray, but the answers seem far away. You cry, but nothing changes. And as time passes, hope begins to fade. But listen carefully. Difficult days cannot define your future. No fight lasts forever. No storm lasts forever. And no pain is greater than the grace of God. The problem is that when suffering arrives, our mind fixates on the worst possible scenario. It's as if everything around lost color, and the only thing visible was fear and uncertainty. But there is a way. There is a way to face bad days without getting lost in them. And today you will discover this truth. God has something powerful to show you, a word that can transform your heart and renew your hope. Then, stay with me until the end of this message. Why? What you're about to hear could change everything. Now take a deep breath and stay with me, because God wants to speak to your heart. Difficult days are inevitable. We all go through moments of pain, uncertainty, and fear, and often, when we face these turbulent times, the first reaction is to ask, why is this happening to me? Has God forgotten me? What did I do to deserve this? But did you know that even the most faithful face trials? The Bible teaches us that difficulties are part of the journey of life. Jesus told us clearly in John 16:33, "In the world you will have tribulations, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." That means the fights will come, but they don't need to destroy us. The problem isn't the difficult day itself, but the way we react to it. If our mind only focuses on the problem, it grows, becomes heavy, and makes us believe there is no way out. Fear whispers that there is no more hope. Doubt tries to convince us that God is distant. But pay attention. Bad days are not the end of your story. Just as storms come and go, your moment of pain will also pass. Now imagine that you are in the middle of a strong storm. The sky is dark, the wind blows strong, the rain falls non-stop. If you just look at the storm, you may think that the sun will never shine again. But that's not true. Storms always pass. And when they pass, they leave the land more fertile, the sky cleaner and the air purer. Your struggle is not your final destination. Your pain does not define your life. What you are experiencing now may just be preparation for something bigger. And when you learn to trust, fear loses its power. Today, God wants to teach you how to face difficult days with faith, how to stay firm, even when everything seems contrary, how to find peace, even in the midst of storms. So, stay with me until the end of this message, because what you will hear can transform your heart. The greatest danger of difficult days is not in what happens around us, but what happens inside us. Discouragement sets in slowly. He arrives silently, and when we realize we are already without strength, without motivation, and without hope. The difficulties of life try to convince us that nothing will change, that our effort is useless, and that God is far away. But listen carefully. Discouragement is one of the enemy's most dangerous weapons. He wants you to stop believing. May you give up on the walk. May you forget God's promises for your life, and doubt appears to reinforce this discouragement. She whispers in your ear, "Is God really with me? If He loves me, why am I suffering so much? Maybe I'm not worthy of an answer." And if you give space to that voice, she starts to grow. And when he realizes, his heart is filled with fear and uncertainty. But pay attention. God never called us to doubt. He doesn't want us to live insecure, questioning whether He is really with us. The Bible teaches us in Psalms 121, 1-2, "I lift my eyes to the mountains, where will help come from? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth." This means that when discouragement comes, when doubt tries to take over your mind, you need to lift your eyes and remember who your help is. What you feel today is not your final destination. Fear cannot paralyze you. Doubt cannot dominate you. And discouragement cannot steal your faith. Difficult days will come, but you don't have to face them alone. Today, you are receiving this word because God wants to remind you that He remains in control. Discouragement can be strong, but the presence of God is even stronger. Now stay with me, because in the next few minutes you will learn how to overcome a difficult day. Now that you understand the danger of discouragement and doubt, it's time to learn how to get through a tough day. Problems will arise, the fights will appear, but you don't need to be defeated by them. The difference between those who survive a difficult day and whoever is knocked down by it is in the shape of reacting. So, pay attention to these 3 powerful steps that will help you face any bad day with faith and strength. Step 1. Change the focus. The first mistake of anyone facing a difficult day is to fix your eyes only on the problem. If you only look at the difficulties, everything will seem bigger than it really is. But the Bible teaches us something different. For we walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. This means you cannot base your decisions in what your eyes see, but rather in what God has already promised. Your help does not come from difficulty. It doesn't come from your own strength. Your help comes from the Lord. So stop feeding fear right now. Change your focus. Stop looking at the problem and start looking at God. Step 2. Stop fighting alone. Many people suffer more than they should because they try to face everything alone. They keep the weight in their hearts. They don't ask for help and believe they need to be strong at all times. But listen carefully. You don't have to carry this burden alone. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. Jesus invites you to hand over this burden to Him. He doesn't want you to be tired and worn out. So do this right now. Leave this concern in God's hands. Trust that He is taking care of everything, and allow His love to renew your strength. Step 3. Trust in God's time. Sometimes the pain seems to last longer than it should. The answer doesn't come when we expect it, and the wait becomes agonizing. But God has a right time for all things. Crying may last a night, but joy comes in the morning. Psalms 35. If your heart is troubled, if you feel like you can't take it anymore, know that God has already prepared your time for victory. The storm doesn't last forever. Your answer will come, and when it comes, you will understand that everything was in His control. Now take a deep breath, and keep these 3 steps in your heart, because they are the key to facing any difficult day with faith. Stay with me, because now you will discover the secret to overcoming any battle in life. Now that you've learned how to get through a difficult day, You need to understand the most powerful secret to overcome any situation. This secret is not in arm strength. It's not about trying to control everything and much less in despairing in the face of the problem. The real secret to overcoming bad days is resting in God. This does not mean standing still and doing nothing. But yes, learn to trust completely. The Bible teaches us something very important. Commit your way to the Lord, trust Him, and He will act. Psalms 37:5. Do you see what this verse says? First, deliver, then trust, and then God acts. But often we try to do the opposite. We want God to act first so that we can then trust Him. We want to see the solution before believing. But God doesn't work like that. He wants us to trust before we see the result. This is called faith. Now, faith is the certainty of what we hope for and the evidence of things we do not see. Hebrews 11:1. This means that even if everything seems contrary, even if your eyes don't see a way out, God is already working behind the scenes. Difficult days come and go, but one thing never changes. God remains in control. What today seems like a great weight, tomorrow can become a powerful testimony of what God has done in your life. So don't give up. Don't give in to fear and never doubt the Lord's love for you. Now I want you to do something very special. In the comments, write this statement of faith. God is in control of my life. When you write this, you're saying to yourself for the world and for heaven that trusts in God. And if this message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. This way, you will always receive messages of faith, strengthening, and hope. May God bless you mightily. See you in the next message.